Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the boat Hairspring. As usual, it's me, Ivan, and in today's video we'll be looking at the Seiko 5 Sports Field GMT model that was released not so long ago. To be fair, it's a very nice watch, but I also think that it could have been amazing if Seiko had done a couple of things differently. The first thing that caught my attention is that despite the compact dimensions, this Seiko is quite hefty, and I'm saying this in a very positive way. Unsized on the OM bracelet, you're looking at a total weight of just under 150 grams, which once again is not a bad thing in my opinion. In addition, the watch seems to be very well balanced, and so it should wear very nicely on the wrist. Here it is on mine, which as you know is just 17 centimeters or 6.7 inches. You can clearly see that for a watch with a case diameter of just 39.4 millimeters, it has quite a bit of wrist presence. And you know, it really reminds me of my Alpinist Sarb 017, both in terms of dimensions and wearability. The SSK is just slightly larger, its lug-to-lug is 47.9 versus 46 on the Alpinist, and it's also a bit thicker, 13.6 versus 12 millimeters. However, those differences are hardly noticeable, and if you're fine with the Alpinist's dimensions, then you'll probably enjoy wearing the SSK as well. Straight away guys, what I like the most about this model is the overall design. It's basically an SRP G27, but with a Rolex Explorer II bezel on it and an orange GMT hand. And I honestly think it's a combination that works really well. Now, whether I or anyone else considers this Seiko a Rolex homage is very much irrelevant. What's important here is that the watch looks fantastic. To be fair, the only reason I think it's an homage is that every time I look at it, the image of the Explorer II pops in my mind, which is totally fine. In fact, I'm sure that's exactly what Seiko wanted to achieve. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments below. When it comes to the build quality guys, it's pretty decent. Well, it's actually great. The watch feels solid, it has a tool-like finish, meaning that it's fully brushed. I especially like this fixed GMT bezel. It has a thin polished bevel, and it looks pretty great with its black lacquered numerals. Next, in charge of protecting the dial, we find this very nice domed mineral crystal, which will give you some cool distortions when you look at the dial from different angles. I would have preferred a sapphire instead, but in this case, I'm not too mad, as this hardlex crystal is actually very clear. It's also quite thick, and as a result, it should be very shatter resistant. Finally, this model features a screw-down exhibition case back, but a push-pull crown, which translates into a water resistance of 100 meters. The bracelet this model comes with is very nice. It's very similar to an engineer's style bracelet. The only difference is that the links are a bit more rounded. Guys, the overall construction here is very good. As a whole, the bracelet feels solid, it articulates nicely, the end links are female, and the vertical brushing is decent. As you can imagine, there is only one thing that I wish it were better, and that of course is the clasp. The inner portion is made of pressed metal, and to me that's just disappointing. The good news is that this watch will look fantastic on a khaki green NATO, which in my opinion will further enhance the military look. Next, let's have a closer look at the dial. At the first glance it looks a bit busy as there are too many numerals on it, but once you figure out what everything is, things become much simpler. The dial itself has a bit of a grainy texture going on, and the hour markers and the logo at 12 o'clock are applied. The hour numerals are stamped from the back, and to my surprise they are not loomed. Only the hour markers are, as you'll see in a moment. And finally we've got the 24-hour numerals, which are printed. So yeah, there are lots of numbers on the dial. Seiko has even managed to squeeze a date in there, but you know, legibility is actually surprisingly good thanks to the generously sized handset, which looks great even in the dark. In fact, the lume is quite strong and long-lasting, especially on the hands, but you have to agree with me that if the Arabic numerals were loomed as well, it would have been just sick. Finally, let's mention the movement real quick. Seiko has paired this model with their in-house 4R34, which in just a couple of years has become one of the most popular office GMT calibers on the affordable watch market. From my experience, it's been just as reliable as the NH35, but that comes as no surprise really, as both movements are nearly identical in terms of their specs. The obvious difference is that the 34 variant comes with a GMT complication, which allows you to track a second time zone. You know, I've already owned quite a few watches with this caliber, and so far, I've been very happy with its performance. Guys, the bottom line is, this new Seiko Field Watch is pretty amazing. The only real negative, in my opinion, is the clasp of the bracelet, but if you can live with it, for €390, which is what Relojería Esparza is selling it for here in Spain, it really is a fantastic option for those of you looking to add a field watch to your collection. I'm very confident that Seiko is already selling a ton of these, and I really think that if they release it with a white dial, it has the chance of becoming one of their best-selling watches this year. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you want to see some more Seiko watches, check my Seiko playlist, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. One of the reviews that I have coming to the channel very soon is a hands-on comparison of these titanium beasts, so yeah, don't miss it out. Thanks again, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.